Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Recently, I was tagged by the awesome Nightwatch in the 10 for 10 Subgenre Horror Tag. These are 10 genres from the horror staple that you have to pick out your favorites from. And they include found footage, zombie, paranormal, torture porn, vampire, werewolf, home invasion, sci-fi, foreign horror, and slasher. So I got to pick my favorites out of those 10 categories, and it's a really fun tag. I think Monty G tagged Night, and there seems to be a case no one knows who formulated this tag, and that's going around a lot lately because there was another 10 for 10 tag. So this seems to be the tag gods descended upon us, giving us random tags, but hopefully we'll find out who formulated these tags and they'll get the credit necessary. But yeah, Nightwatch tagged me in this and Monty G tagged him in that one. So big thank you to Nightwatch. If you get a chance, check out his channel. I've jumped on there a couple of times. Great guy, super nice guy. Him, Killian, Coriander, they kick ass. And if you get a chance, also check out Monty G, because the Horror Miser kicks arse as well. So starting off with my first sub-genre category, I'm going to have to go with Wreck for found footage. Wreck kicks arse. It scared the shit out of me when I first saw it, and it still scares the shit out of me. Whereas most found footage movies, they're usually kind of what you don't see, or like cheap kind of tricks. Blair Witch, for example, you don't really see as much of the terror or the threat. And that works, that's cool. But this, you see everything. Essentially, the story follows a late night news reporter who accompanies a fire team to a tenement building, and there is a viral outbreak, and they're trapped in there with these people who are essentially zombies. To me, Wreck is one of the best zombie movies out there, but it is also one of the best found footage movies out there, so that's why it didn't end up in the later category. I think it is the best found footage movie there is in the horror genre, the best zombie movie you can get your hands on, next up my other pick, and probably one of the best horror movies there is, full stop. If you get a chance, I implore you to check this out. Leave Quarantine. Quarantine isn't a bad movie, but you're really doing yourself a disservice if you watch the remake. Forgo your feelings about having to read subtitles, because this movie is amazing. It kicks arse, and it is high octane horror in found footage format at its best. If you get a chance, definitely check out Wreck. That is my number one for found footage horror. Genre 2, zombies. So I'm going to have to go with 28 Days Later. Night, if I'm not mistaken, picked 28 Weeks Later. And that's a good movie as well. But the way I look at those two movies is the same way I look at the first two movies in the Alien saga. Whereas the first one is a thriller and the second one is action. 28 Weeks Later, to me, is primarily action, where 28 Days Later is primarily a tense, taunt, kind of very, very minimalistic thriller with a zombie kind of setting. We follow Cillian Murphy's Jim, a bicycle courier who was in a coma for 28 days as he wakes up in an abandoned London, which has been stalked by the infected. Kick-arse movie. It is awesome. If you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. I think it's one of that and Shaun of the Dead are one of the movies that really revitalized the zombie genre. And a lot of people say that Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead was what kickstarted the run in zombies. No, this was it. This came out in 2002, and I think the remake of Dawn of the Dead was 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is the one that kickstarted the whole run in zombies thing. And again, it's Danny Boyle, guy behind Trainspotting and Shallow Grave. Fantastic cinematography, fantastic music. Just it's one of his best movies. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check out 28 Days Later. That is my number one pick for the zombie subgenre. Paranormal. I am going to have to go with a new movie. Well, newish. Jeremy Gillespie's The Void, where it's essentially cosmic horror. I don't know, would that fall into the realm of paranormal? I think it would. A sheriff on a late night shift picks up what he believes to be a young man who is on a drug binge and takes him back to the hospital. Once he takes him back to the hospital, things slowly escalate. People die, people are injured, and those who die, they come back, but they're not quite right. And everything seems to be centered around a hospital. Before the survivors can escape, however, they realize the hospital is surrounded by essentially a cult of hooded worshippers who will not let them leave the hospital and have them trapped inside with this cosmic entity or menace that is slowly picking them off one by one. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. If you like Lovecraftian horror, if you like cosmic horror, definitely check out The Void. Fantastic practical effects. Nice throwback to the likes of Cronenberg, Carpenter. It's body horror at its best. It is just incredibly visceral and is a love letter to 80s kind of monstrous practical effect horror. So if you liked The Thing, if you liked Hellraiser, if you liked anything by John Carpenter, check out The Void. It kicks arse. That is my number one for paranormal. My next movie I'm going to pick, torture porn. I'm going to have to go with another foreign language movie. I'm going to go with the Martyrs. If you haven't seen Martyrs, it is a French movie that revolves around two young girls who seemingly go on a killing spree. And the movie is very shocking from the get-go, because we have these two young girls come in and murder a seemingly innocent family. And then, like, one of them is, like, not sure of what's going on, but she helps her friend. And then they find out that there is someone below the family's house that has been tortured. And then things fucking spiral out of control there. There appears to be an organization that conducts what is called martyrdom, where your body is brought to such a level of pain and suffering you can kind of converse with God or converse with the Almighty. And this organization takes young girls, innocent girls, and does that to them, so they can find out if there's something in the afterlife. I'm not going to spoil too much about the movie, but if you get a chance, check out Martyrs. I will tell you, it is a hard watch. There was an American remake which watered it down and gave it a very fucking kind of Hollywood popcorn ending. Do not watch that. Avoid that fucking movie like genital herpes. You want to watch the original Martyrs. So for torture porn, I'm going to go with Martyrs. Again, hard watch. It's not same level of, say, the Serbian movie, but it's still hard fucking going. So if you get a chance, check it out. But I will warn you, it is some hard going. So yeah, for torture porn, I'm going to go with Martyrs. Next genre, vampire. So I'm going to go with an 80s kind of cult classic, Near Dark, which is a combo of essentially it's a Western with vampires. Adrian Pasdar plays a country boy who falls in love with I forget that, Jenny Wright, I think that was the actress. And unbeknownst to him, she infects him with vampirism, and he's taken in by her kind of nomadic vagabond family led by Severin. You have Severin played by Lance Henriksen, and you also have Bill Paxton and Jeanette Goldstein. It's kind of a mini Aliens reunion, and it's pretty cool because you can see the camaraderie from that movie carry over to this, and you have this very believable unit of a family unit of vampires who have kind of a special system. And when Adrian Pasdar's character is brought into the fold, it threatens that system. And it's a kick-ass movie. Bill Paxton kicks absolute fucking arse in this movie, especially in the bar scene where he kind of starts cracking jokes before he murders everyone in the bar. And Henriksen is really cool as well as this kind of world-weary vampire. And there's something, you could believe that before he was a vampire he was just as dangerous. This was directed by Catherine Bigelow, who done The Hurt Locker, and she actually asked James Cameron permission, could she use that ensemble cast, And Cameron was so impressed. He was like, "Hey, do you want to go out on a date?" I think they were married temporarily, himself and Catherine Bigelow. So if you get a chance, check out Near Dark, kick-ass movie. Had the unfortunate luck of coming out at the same time as The Lost Boys, so it got overshadowed. But it is definitely well worth a look. Next genre, we have werewolf. So Night Watch the fucker. He picked the one I was going to go with. So I'm going to go with a movie called Late Phases. Another new enough movie. It stars Nick D'Amici from Stakeland, and he plays a blind Vietnam vet who's sent to a retirement home, and he finds himself embroiled in a case of murders which may be perpetrated by a werewolf. So his guide dog dies defending him from the werewolf, and he realizes he has a month to train and prepare so he can take out this werewolf. And it's a kick-ass movie. It's essentially like Shogun with a werewolf, or kind of Zatoichi. If you've watched the Blind Swordsman, the classic kind of Japanese samurai series or movie, Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman. It's kind of like that. You have this kind of badass old guy who can't see for shit, who decides to train up and prepare to fight werewolves, and it kicks arse. You also have the likes of Tom Noonan from Manhunter in this movie, and yeah, it kicks arse. Not a lot of people know about it. I don't know what the current title is, but the version I got goes by the title of Late Phases. It might have something else, Curse of the Werewolf or something. I'm not 100% sure, but if you get a chance, check it out. Nick D'Amici kicks arse as this kind of blind Vietnam veteran who doesn't take shit from no one, and he's funny. He does not want to be in that retirement home one bit. But you get a chance, check it out. He uses really great practical effects as well. Some of the werewolves look a bit weird, but still, it's pretty cool to see a practical werewolf effect. So yeah, that is my one for werewolf, the category, the subgenre of werewolves. Home invasion. I'm going to go with The Collector. I love The Collector. Originally, that movie started off as a Saw sequel, but the producers didn't like it, so they repurposed it as its own thing. You have a jewel thief who, on the night he decides to break into a kind of fairly affluent family's house, he ends up coming across a home invasion by a killer known as The Collector, who is as sadistic as he is clever. He booby traps the house. He makes it nigh on impossible for the family to escape, and takes great glee at torturing them. The jewelry thief, the burglar, has a chance to escape, but he realizes the youngest daughter of a family is still in there, so he takes it upon himself to rescue her and try and foil the Collector scheme. Fairly gory movie, but fairly cool. And it had a sequel called The Collected, which was okay, and I think there's a third movie coming out. I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't seen The Collector, definitely check it out. Really cool home invasion movie. Beat my other choice by a teeny weeny mile, which was going to be Hush, but no, it has to be The Collector. So if you get a chance, you want a good home invasion movie, check out The Collector. Next genre is sci-fi horror. Of course, everyone's probably picked Alien, everyone's picked The Thing. Night Watch again picked another one I would have gone with, which was Pandorum. But I'm going to go with an oldie, but it's a goodie. And Richard Stanley's Hardware. What we have is essentially something that could have been ripped from the pages of 2000 AD. A soldier coming back from the battlefield brims back parts of a decommissioned robot for his sculpture-obsessed girlfriend to fuck around with and make into a sculpture. The thing is, the decommissioned robot isn't so decommissioned, and it goes by the name of Mark 13, which is a passage in the Bible: none shall be spared, or no blood shall be spared. And it's essentially, it's a liquidation robot. It was designed to wipe out all life in the vicinity so that another crew could come in and inhabit it. And it gets reactivated in the apartment building, and it is a fucking crazy monster of a machine. The main character, played by Stacey Travis, has to avoid this thing. This fucking robot is mental. Like it decides to give itself a drill penis and attempts to rape Stacey Travis, and it's just really, really nasty, grotty looking machine that you don't know its intention. Does it want to kill everyone or just hurt them really bad and then kill them? And like it causes all kinds of chaos. The poor security guards get a bad doing. The only character, that really kind of gets his comeuppance is I think Hootkins. I forget the actor's name, but he was in Batman. He was in a lot of stuff. He plays this dirty peeping Tom who's a spying on Stacey Travis and ends up on the bad end of the robot, Mark 13. So yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. Really cool, futuristic kind of cyberpunk movie. Richard Stanley, I think it was Richard Stanley's first movie. I think he done Dust Devil after that. But yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. You also keep your eyes peeled from Lemmy from Motorhead and Iggy Pop as a DJ. It kicks arse. It has a great soundtrack. And if you like the likes of, say, the 2000 AD comics, or if you like, say, Terminator, well, this is like if Terminator was left in a fucking scrapyard to rust. It kicks arse, and yeah, has to be up there with one of my favorite sci-fi horrors. Next subgenre has to be foreign horror. I'm going to go with Audition. Keshi Miike is absolutely fucked up. Would I call it a romantic comedy? I don't think so. Fucked up horror thriller about a widower who puts out an advert looking for a wife, well, claiming he wants to do a film audition, but it then materializes he's actually looking for a suitor for a replacement wife, and he finds a woman who seems like the woman of his dreams, but she is far from it, and she harbors a lot of dark secrets, and they come to bite that guy back on the arse and on the leg and on the tongue and on any other part you can get piano wire around. If you haven't seen Audition, check it out. Again, I'm putting a lot of foreign stuff on here. I apologize, but I always say that if a horror movie or any movie stands on its own, it shouldn't matter if it has subtitles or if it's in a different language. And this is a prime example of that. So definitely check out Audition. It kicks arse. It is essentially one of the scariest movies to come out of Japan. If someone was like to say, well, compare it to something a Western movie, you really can't, because the Japanese have a very unique way of doing horror, and like it just shows the dangers of maybe blind dating, or kind of like, be sure you know who you're with before you get with them. That's the lesson I learned from Audition, and it kicks arse. It's incredibly unnerving, and it's up there with one of my favorite horrors of all time. Next genre we have slasher. See, this one's hard because I enjoy slasher movies, but I never really kind of give them any serious credence, and I don't want to plonk stuff down here that everyone's watched. So I'm going to go with, I don't know, would it be categorized as a slasher? I'm going to go with Wolf Creek, because yeah, it's like, there's very little chance someone like Jason Voorhees can exist, but there has been people like Mick from Wolf Creek who existed in the Australian outback. Mallet, I think that was his name. He was known to kidnap backpackers and murder them. Really unnerving movie. Not a huge body count, but disturbing, and you could see someone like this operating for a long period of time out there, out in the middle of nowhere, getting away with literal murder. And I think it was very unnerving, and I was shocked because it's a movie that, like, you know, you're not going to know who's going to die and who's going to live, because it pulls the wool right out from under you. So yeah, for slasher, I'm going to go Wolf Creek. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should have gone with that, but yeah, I'm going to go Wolf Creek. So yeah, that is my top 10, 10 for 10 from the horror subgenre. And yeah, it was fun. Thanks a million for Night Watch for tagging me. Who will I tag? I am going to tag the Soulless Trenchcoat. I'm going to tag Jen's Reviews from the Grave. I'm going to tag Full Moon. I am also going to tag Cara from Horror Retrospective. And who else? I'm going to tag Ethel from 13 Originals. So yeah, if you get a chance, give this tag a go. And again, big thanks to Night Watch for tagging me in this. You kick arse. And yeah, thanks a million. So if you get a chance, what did you think? Leave your comments and thoughts on the tag below. And have a good one. Take care. Bye now.